What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's vlog we have a couple installs. We're going to be installing a new steering wheel, as you guys can see from the thumbnail and title. This is going to be the first time I'm installing like a quick release hub. That's going to be interesting. We ended up going with NRG for that little ding, that famous ding. I actually just got told about the story behind that noise, and I think that blows my mind. But I also know that a lot of people like to go back and forth between Bell and between NRG. So I just wanted to go with NRG just because, you know, I wanted to see what it was like over there with the sound and everything. And then we also got a personal wheel, you guys. So let's take a look at that before we start installing it. So I just took them both out of the boxes right now, and I gotta say, the box for the steering wheel is so freaking cool, you guys. Check this out. It literally has a ton of famous racers on here. So these steering wheels are made out of Italy. My first introduction to personal was off of one of Dustin Williams' videos, actually, when he picked up his R34 Skyline. And I was like, damn, that wheel looks really nice, and it like looks comfortable. So kind of what led me to this moment. And then I just was asking around with buddies and stuff for the NRG, you know, quick release hubs. Before we get into like what it looks like and everything like that, we still need to do one more thing right before that. So as you guys can see, the car is jacked up. We definitely don't need the car to be jacked up to install the steering wheel. If you guys watched the last vlog, we actually ended up adding some extended wheel studs and some spacers on here, but we didn't get to the front of the car yet. We only got to the rear of the car. So as you guys can see, it is definitely poking out a lot more. We have some 15mm spacers from Z1 Motorsport. It definitely adds a lot of a better look to the OEM Nismo wheels. One thing we could probably do, and I'll show you guys once the car is down, is we probably could lower the car just a tiny bit. When the car is down, I have probably about like 3 to like 2 fingers of space. Don't get me wrong, honestly, it's nice that I can go on dips and bumps and go straight forward and not have to necessarily worry about that unless they're really bad. But for the most part, I think we could just go like maybe smidge, half an inch maybe. Like I said, we weren't able to get the fronts done in the last video, so we got to do that first right now. I'm not gonna do any like step-by-step or anything like that. Honestly, it's in the front, I think it's a little bit more straightforward than the rear because you're not having to worry about axles. Literally just take off the brake caliper, hang it up, take off the rotor, expose the wheel hub bearing. And hopefully on this side, we don't have to take off the wheel hub bearing to get the studs out. Obviously, we had to do that in the rear, and luckily we already had everything already outside of the car to make it a lot easier. But this time around, hopefully we don't have to take off the wheel hub bearing, but we'll see once we get there. So let me go ahead and get this underway, and then I'll give you guys an update in a moment. Alright, you guys, so voila. We got the extended wheel studs on. I will mention a couple things. I was struggling just a little bit in the beginning. So obviously we don't have to take off the wheel hub bearing on the fronts for us to get the extended wheel studs in. They literally fit in this like certain area. I don't know if you guys were able to see on what I was trying to get, but they were able to fit in a certain area. So you can take them out and put them in without taking the wheel hub bearing on. Other thing is, it kept spinning when I was trying to lock the extended stud in. I couldn't figure out why until I did. Basically, I forgot that Alex, not only did he use this little tool that we're using for extended wheel studs, very helpful tool. It's like $8 to $10 on Amazon, guys. If you're installing extended wheel studs, this is very helpful. But what he also did at the same time too was he put the spacer on, and then he put this on while he was trying to fit in the extended studs. So that was something I didn't know because I was over here trying to grab a bunch of like extra washers to put on to extend it out more. And then it was like, oh, let me put on the spacer. I'm pretty sure that will give me enough clearance. And so yeah, it definitely did. This has 2 sides to it, right? This is a deeper side. This is the flat side. So you're going to want to put the flat side on there, and then you can fit in your lug nut in here. I unfortunately ended up doing it way too much with the washers, and it ended up opening up one of my lug nuts. So maybe we'll get new lug nuts after all since I did that. But it was nice that it was like literally a perfect circle, so we can still reuse this. It still works. The threads are all good and everything. Like I said, we just might have to get some new lug nuts, but it's all good now. So I put the brake back on. We got our spacer in there. these I'm super confident in these. Honestly, we got that done actually really quickly. I still need to do the other side, but now that I know exactly what I'm doing, that should be like way faster than this side. This honestly took me like 30 minutes, but only because I was still trying to figure that aspect out. It would have took me a lot faster. So let's go ahead and do the other side, and let's get to this steering wheel install. So it is currently the next day, and I had to stop because it was starting to kind of come down really hard with the rain. Luckily, I was able to finish installing the spacers and the extended studs yesterday, but definitely it was like starting to rain hard, so we couldn't install the steering wheel. So we're gonna do that right now. But check out these front wheels, dude. Oh my gosh, this is just so much better with the way they come out with the 15mm spacer. This and the rear wheel looks so much better. It just was sunken in so freaking much. I don't know why like Nissan kind of like had it that way from, you know, factory, where like the wheels are like sunken into the body. I'm sure there's a reason for that. We could have probably went 20 all around, honestly, and it probably would have been just slightly better. But I do like the 15s. I didn't want to go too crazy on the poke out. Tell me what you guys think of this. This looks so freaking good to me, you guys. So now that we got that done, now I can finally do the steering wheel install. I already have the wheel out here. I love how it comes into this bag right here. Check this out. Yo, Nardi and personal. This is so freaking cool. Here is my center button right here. I got the silver and black. I thought that would be pretty universal. Here is the steering wheel, full leather, flat. We could have went down to $330, but it would have been a little bit more expensive. So I got a great deal on this size right here, and I believe it's the OEM size in the wheel we have in the Z already. So not too much of a difference there, but definitely when you go down a size, you can tell the difference, because the one we have in the 86, I believe, is smaller, probably $330 for that one. That one definitely feels a lot better, but I think this will feel good too. The stitching is just so good. It just feels really good. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and install this in the car. It should be pretty simple. Bolts right here on the side are pretty specific, actually. You're gonna need some of these guys right here. I forget what these are called. What I'm using right here to take it off is a T30. Should be one on the left and should be one on the right. You should be able to take off your airbag after that. Make sure you guys unplug your battery right before you do all this stuff, you guys. We got the airbag out, and these are unplugged from the airbag. Looks like we got a 19mm bolt here, unplug right here. This isn't a how-to video, I'll tell you that, but I want to make this known, because if you are watching this and you have a Z and you were thinking about, you know, installing the steering wheel, whatever, I want to mention this because other people or other videos that I was looking at don't mention this stuff, and it was a little annoying and frustrating because there's no instructions. There's no instructions. Let's kind of go over some things. So earlier I said you would have to take these out. You don't have to take these out. They come off with the wheel itself. So you just literally have to take off the bolt and then unplug these connections here. The next thing that I want to mention is we have the short hub on already. We already fed the wires through. So there's one wire that comes already bolted here, which is basically a ground. And then the kit also comes with these resistors for your airbags. You saw how easy it just came out. That's not good. But when you're putting them in, you just want to make sure they're kind of secure enough. You're going to want to poke them into these bottom holes right here where they would actually connect to into the OEM steering wheel. Just make sure they're in there, you know, well enough, and you're going to tuck that into here. I know this is a little space, but it should all fit. Then the other connection that you basically had to plug in after you unplugged it from the OEM steering wheel, they give you another connection. You're going to plug that in, and then you're going to feed that to this part of the hub here. One of the things that was actually confusing me is that there's these rings here. So these rings act like as a ground. So one of the connections would sleeve up into here and act as a ground. But since we already have this ground right here, we technically don't need it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just not put the ring on, which also could act like as a little spacer, but I am going to not use that, and I'm just going to connect both of these like you guys see here. So we have the yellow being connected to the plug that we unplugged here, and then we have the black that's already screwed in being plugged into the other black cord that's coming out of this area. So that is something that I just wanted to let you guys know, and to see see if it works or not because I believe it's for the horn. My boy said, oh, get your screwdriver and put it on both of these and plug your battery in and see if the horn works. Well, let me show you guys exactly what he meant. If I get my screwdriver here and put it on both, see how the horn's working? That lets us know that it works and we can go ahead and tuck it all in and then start bolting it down. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. But I just wanted to share that because I was like, what the heck, dude? Finally finished up putting on the steering wheel and check it out. It looks freaking good, right? Oh my gosh, it feels a lot better, I'll tell you that much. The quality is just, man, that Italiano, you know what I mean? One thing about our horn. So technically, our horn could work. I tested it out, I tried it, it could work. But it was just something wrong going on behind here, and I wish I would have recorded for you guys. But basically, there's like two wires coming out for the horn. One's the ground, and then one actually connects to the back of this horn here. Well, the back of the horn here, well, that connected perfectly. But the one where you're supposed to ground it, there's like nowhere for you to ground it. There's no, you know, insert or anything. And I was touching like other parts of metal, and the horn would work when it would touch metal. Is just where would it stick to? So honestly, to have it work, I would have to like maybe like cut off the wiring and tape it along the metal that's behind here and have it work that way. I just was so irritated by the amount of time I was spending here trying to figure it out that I just decided we're not gonna run a horn. All right, we're just not. Okay, so we're gonna use our exhaust for our horn. I don't know, you guys, maybe I'll have somebody fix it later on, but personally it was like out of my personal area to do something like that, so I just decided not to run it. But we can run it if we want to later on. And also, so I know you guys are probably used to where's the two pulls on each side. My buddy ended up telling me like, hey, I think it's better if you just get the button, and that way you're able to kind of take it off that way. So I do like the button. It was a little hard to position you guys in here without my tripod, so I haven't had a tripod. I need to get a new one. But like I said, so we don't have the pull off handles right here. It's just this button on top, and then we pull it, and then we take it off easily, and then when we put it on, oh, we didn't hear the ding. We want to hear the ding. I don't know why the ding's not dinging, guys. There we go. Pretty cool, honestly, for somebody that's never had quick release before. Pretty cool. Well, you guys, that was the installs. I have a couple more things, but I'm waiting on some other stuff for those, so you guys are gonna have to wait for those. But another problem that just occurred recently, which is interesting, maybe it's, you know, some spark plugs or something, but you guys see all this black right here? Okay, so obviously it was raining and stuff, it's mixed up with that, but I cleaned up the other side. The car has actually been getting black dust from the exhaust, so I don't know if it's burning oil or if something's not being filtered correctly through the cats, because I do have the cats. But for sure, I don't know if you guys remember, in that Y pipe, mid pipe section over there, there was a pretty ongoing leak there. So every time I turn on the car, it starts leaking from there, so it could be a gasket or something like that. But the car runs fine. That's kind of why I'm not too sure why it's kind of expelling that black dust. I've been reading the forums, and like, there's a lot of different reasons as to what it could be. I don't think it's a seal or anything like that. I literally think that it's the exhaust, honestly. So definitely might need to like get a new exhaust, considering, I mean, this one's pretty beat up. As you guys can see, there's already a crack there, crack on top of it as well. So those are definitely things that I'm gonna have to like address pretty soon, because the black dust is, honestly, it's pretty bad. Every time I drive the car, the black dust gets on the rear bumper, all over the rear bumper. It's very annoying, honestly, and I don't want it to stain the wrap. So yeah, I'm not too sure why that's going on, and that literally just started occurring recently, which is a little irritating, right? Because we're like fixing one thing, fixing other things, and then another thing occurs within that. Like, what? Come on, dude, give us a break here, bro. Honestly. Alright, so it's come down to the outro. I wanted to give you a couple updates on what's coming up. So by the time you guys are watching this, I had already decided to show up to Cali Creamy in Arizona. Should be at the Surprise Stadium, which we haven't been there before, but I think I seen some clips of it last year and it seemed like a really cool setting. So I'm excited for that. If you guys are in the Arizona area, come out, say what's up. I'm actually going to have my booth there. So really cool. My first time having my booth outside of California. We just did our very first booth appearance in Fresno and it was so cool. Definitely excited to come out and maybe meet some of you guys and talk cars with you guys. So definitely, if you guys are in the area, please come out, say what's up. I definitely have some new merch coming. We have some of the t-shirts that we had on the website, and we also have some hats coming in, banners as well, stickers. The only reason I haven't released any of this stuff online to you guys yet is because I was waiting for the hats to be done. So the hats, we tried to do a different material instead of embroidery, and there was a couple fitment issues with that and the machines, but we got it dialed in and I have them now. So if you guys are going to be at the Arizona show, definitely you guys will be able to pick up those hats before everybody else online. So definitely, if you guys are in the area and you guys want some merch and want to support the channel, if you guys support the channel already, definitely a cool way to, you know, have something before a lot of other people. Another thing is I have been working on the 86 content behind the scenes while I've been producing the Z content. So that was the whole point of the Z and having another car and daily and stuff like that. Be tuned in to that content if you guys have been looking for some 86 content. I know some of you guys have been DMing me and asking me like make some more turbo content and things of that sort. So trust me, it's coming. What I have been planning, I've been planning for quite some time, or like months, honestly, since last year, and trying to get things in motion is just, it's been a journey in itself. So finally we are at some moments where things are really starting to move. Like I said, I just been kind of doing that stuff in the background, but you guys will see soon enough. So the next upcoming vlogs you guys will probably see will be us in Arizona, maybe like 1 or 2 more installs with the Z. And then finally we'll get into the 86 content, you guys. So I'm really excited for that. We got new livery, different wheel setup, some different aero, some other interior bits. So I am just really excited for that and just wanting to see it come to fruition. So if you guys have been watching for a while, you know we have hit some milestones. This one will be another milestone for me, and I think a first as well, because I've never had a livery. So that will be exciting. Anyways, you guys, I don't want to keep ranting on. Make sure you guys live long and prosper. And if this is you guys' first time to the channel, please be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps us out. We just hit 4,000, over 4,000 subscribers, and that has made me ecstatic. Let's hit 10,000, you guys. I just need you guys' help. Thank you guys so much. See you guys in the next one. Later.